Our family came together to take pictures and enjoy a meal for the first time in a while. My Grammy and her sister both suffer from memory loss, so we wanted to celebrate their legacy.
Sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
I decided to vlog not only to capture the moment, but also to share our favorite times that we cherish most with them. What is your favorite memory with Sylvia?
Oh my goodness. We sat down at a table one time at Grandpa's house and did some drawings together. And that was a good memory, good time spent with her. We were over in Spain and she came to visit. That was great to have relatives so far away come visit us. We wanted to spend every moment with her when we was over there. It was a good experience.
Wow, I got a tiebreaker. So the first memory was she was the one that really introduced me to reading. So when we would go visit her in D.C., she would take us to this black bookstore in Washington, D.C. and buy me books to read when I was like 8, 9 years old. So I actually remember that one of the first books she got me was If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. And then she got me another one, I can't remember the author, but it was called Hero Ain't Nothing But a Sandwich. And so those are the first two books that I remember her buying for me. And probably the second memory that runs, tiebreaker is when I was in my final year at Norfolk State University and I could not pay for my final year, and my grandmother, her mother called and said, you need to come to DC right away. And I went up, and some kind of way they found out that I wasn't going to be able to finish college. And so my grandmother yelled over to Sylvia, get my pocketbook. And Sylvia came over and they wrote a check to pay for my last year of college. And I was just crying and everything. She's like, oh, little boy, you gonna finish. Little boy, you gonna finish. You're gonna be the first one in your generation to graduate from college. Because the good thing with them is my grandmother, she graduated from Miners Teachers College, which is now Howard University. So education was important, reading was important. So the big memories, education, reading, bookstore, and then heading out and get that check done so I could finish college.
Oh my goodness. First of all, my Aunt Sylvia is my godmother. So my favorite memory is she coming to Spain and going with me to see the bullfights and the flamingo dancers, but she went everywhere we went. California, Puerto Rico, Guam. She always came to visit, and the best gift that she ever gave me was a diary when I was 8, and I've been journaling ever since because of my aunt.
My favorite memory with Sylvia is when she would start singing her Catholic songs that she would sing that she learned in Catholic school. And the other good memory I had with her was Aunt Sylvia would always send me little tea bags and cards with encouragement in them. I just loved her spirit. I love her spirit. And I pray that it comes back each and every day. I love Aunt Sylvia. She was just always happy and just full of encouragement. So that's what I love about Aunt Sylvia.
Oh. There was one time she was on the phone with Dad, and I walked into the office, and he was like, "Oh, say hi to your Aunt Sylvia," and she was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, hi, Aunt Sylvia." She was like, oh, "Is that Olivia? Oh my God, I'm so glad to hear from you." And she's one of my aunts that I don't talk to all that often, but when I do talk to her, it just brings a smile to my face all the time.
Every time she would call me, we would end the call with, "Dear Darla, I hate your stinking guts. You make me vomit. You're the scum between my toes. Love, alfalfa." And that was how we ended every single call anytime she called me. And then for a long time, she would send me like quarters in the mail. Keep them. But yeah, that was my favorite memory.
You make me vomit. You're the scum between my toes. Love alfalfa.
What is your favorite memory with your mother?
Oh, wow. Since my dad was military and he went TDY all the time, my mom would come to my games all the time. Was the loudest parent out there in the stands, calling out my name all the time. It was embarrassing, but at the same time, I was proud, and I learned to appreciate it as I got older, the amount of support my mom's always given me throughout the years.
Oh wow, favorite memory with mom is, I don't think there's one in particular. I remember her crying a lot when I left to go to college. That was probably the big thing, that realization that you were now not a little boy anymore. That, you know, you were going off, and you know, every other time we've traveled places, mom never cried, but for some reason when I got ready to go to Norfolk State, she stood in the kitchen, and I think the reality that her firstborn was now a man going off to be big man on campus was probably the largest memory. And probably if I had to throw in a tiebreaker, it would be when she read a poem that she wrote at our wedding. When Louise and I got married in '96, she wrote a special poem for us. She writes a lot of poetry, and wrote a poem and recited it during the wedding reception. So those would be the top two.
Wow, my favorite memory, I don't know if everybody does the same, but it's kind of embarrassing, but when I got my cycle, I became a woman, and she had me not go to school. She took me out for lunch, she took me shopping, gave me everything I needed, told me what it was going to be like turning into a woman, and I cherish that memory so much that I did it with my daughter, and I also did it with my nieces.
When she found out my name was Louise too, and she was just always so welcoming to me, bringing me into the family, and just made me feel that I felt like one of the children, not the daughter-in-law, but hey, you're my daughter. And just always the words of encouragement and her funny jokes. Yes, she do tell funny jokes. Y'all might not get it, but I get them. But I love her sense of humor, and that's what I see today. Even though there might be different conversations going on, the reality is that she comes back and she's got a good comeback on just about anything and everything. So that's what I love, her sense of humor.
My favorite memory with Grammy is probably when we went on that trip. Where'd we go? That
Williamsburg?
Yeah, Williamsburg. When we had matching pajamas and we took that picture. We all looked so cute. And I think it's just like nice to look back on, and it's one of the few pictures I have with my Grammy. And so just like being able to look at all of us, and it was me, Alana, Zaria, Aunt Tanya, Grammy, and Mom. And just seeing it just like makes me happy every time that I look at it.
Anytime I would leave school sick, she would come pick me up. She'd be like, "You're not sick, we're going to McDonald's." And she would take me to McDonald's every single time. And then as she got older, I would take her grocery shopping, and she would just go on and on and on about some Cheerios that she would never eat. But I would take her out, and then I would take her to get ice cream, and just our moments together. I got to take her out on little dates as she started getting older and getting forgetful, and I was her primary caretaker for 3 years. So I really got to see her and connect with her, and I'm so glad I did a legacy project with her. So I got to catch her before she lost her memory. She told me all about like her life growing up and her siblings and her experiences. And I also did a mother-daughter talk with her and my mom, so I have that too. And I got to like really learn about both of them and their relationship and dynamic.
You ain't gonna get no meat off of that. You can probably chase after the kids all the time.
Yeah, we know we're going to Sturgis this year.
And what would you want your kids to remember about Aunt Sylvia and Grammy?
They've always instilled in me that to do my best. You know, being an African American person, we always had to strive harder to get the things we want, the things that we can appreciate, and they instilled in me to always do my best. And I hope they learn that from me as well, to always be able to strive and do their best at what they do.
I think the big thing is how much they loved us and how important family is across the generations. I mean, we've been blessed to have a grandparent and a parent in our lives. And I think when they look back, I want them to understand not just the importance of family love and education, but also the genealogy for this side of the family, knowing where we came from, that we came from George Washington's plantation in Mount Vernon to where we are now, and the struggles to get where we got, the land ownership, the businesses that were owned. All that stuff is imperative to their understanding. So I'm thankful that they've passed that information down to us. I want them to remember it so that they can pass it on to their children as well.
Wow, that's a tough one, but I would say for my mom that resilience is important, and that as a woman to have resilience is a blessing and a gift. So I'm hoping that that will travel through legacy, because there's going to be tops and turvies, there's going to be ups and downs, but we get through it, and we get through it through resilience. As far as my aunt, her compassion for people, her love for music, music is magic, so I would love to see that continue on. In her honor, we all have our little quirky things that she would call and sing to us over the phone, but music was everything to her, and even though she has Alzheimer's, as soon as you start singing, she starts singing with you, so she hasn't forgotten that gift of music.
What I want you to remember is that there's sisters who grew up, who stayed together. Even now, I think it's orchestrated by the Holy Spirit that they're in the same facility, and even though they don't recognize each other someday, they do have kindred spirits, and that's what I want my children to always have with their siblings, is to always take care of each other. Even when you don't know you're taking care of each other, I pray that your spirits will always click back together, even if your mind doesn't click back together. So in this journey, make good memories, and make sure each one of you know that you can rely on one another no matter what.
I want my future kids to remember that Aunt Sylvia and Grammy are just very happy people, and that even if they don't remember your name or can't really place who you are, they know who you are at your core, and they know what your personality is like, and they recognize and appreciate the amount of love that you have for them, and I know that they'll never forget that. And they're also both really funny.
I want them to remember their humor. Like, they are the funniest people, and I think our family gets them more, but when like other people come into our family and meet them, like they're like, oh, your family's so fun. And I want them to remember that they truly led with love, and they cared, and they always gave us words of encouragement, and if we needed them, they were there.
Absolutely.
I'll be there in a hurry. You don't have to worry. Ain't no mountain high enough.
Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river wide enough.
You don't know what to do with those magic. She's saying you're a great dancer.
You want to know?
No sunshine.
Awesome. My God is awesome. Today I am forgiven. His strength is why I'm living. This is holy name. My God is awesome. Awesome.
What's that?
Australia. I'm Tanya.
Yes.
I like her outfit.
You like?
After wild crocodile. See you later, alligator.
See you later, activator.
Love you. Mwah. Enjoy your ice cream, okay?